Welcome! Today, we're going to unlock one of the simplest, most useful tenses in French. I'm going to show you how you can talk about the future without getting totally lost in complicated grammar. Let's dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? You've tried to explain your plans for tomorrow or maybe the weekend in French, and you just feel stuck. You know exactly what you want to say, but the grammar feels like this huge wall. Well, there's a super simple way to do it that sounds completely natural.
So you can forget all those tricky verb endings, at least for now. The secret is a tense called le futur proche, and here's the best part. It's pretty much exactly like the going to future we use all the time in English. Mastering this one thing is the key to sounding natural when you're talking about your plans.
Okay, so let's get into it. How does this going to future actually work? Well, it all comes down to a really simple, totally repeatable formula.
First off, the name itself gives us a huge clue. Le futur proche. That literally just means the near future. You use it for things you're actually planning on doing, stuff that's just around the corner, tonight, tomorrow, this weekend.
And the formula? Honestly, it couldn't be simpler. It's just 3 parts. First, you've got your subject, who's doing the action. Second, you use the verb aller, which means to go, and you just match it to the subject. And third, you just drop in your main action verb in its original unchanged form. That's it. That's the whole recipe.
Take a look at this example. Je vais manger. See the formula in action? Je is the subject, I. Vais is just the verb aller for I. And manger, to eat, is the infinitive, just sitting there. It's a direct word-for-word translation of I am going to eat. Simple, right?
Now, the only piece of this puzzle you actually need to memorize is that one verb, aller. Just think of it as the engine of the sentence. It's the one part that changes to make the whole thing work. And here they are, the 6 forms you need to know. Je vais, tu vas, il va, nous allons, vous allez, and ils vont. Once you get these down, you can pair them with pretty much any verb in the French language to say what someone is going to do. It's incredibly powerful.
And this right here is probably the most important rule to remember. Do not change that second verb. It doesn't matter if you're going to eat, sleep, travel, or study. That verb always stays in its original infinitive form. Only aller ever changes.
All right, we've got the formula, we've got the key verb. Now let's put it all together and start making some actual plans in French. This is the fun part.
Okay, so to really level up your sentences, you can start adding some simple time words. Things like demain for tomorrow, ce soir for this evening, or la semaine prochaine for next week. This is what gives your plans some real context.
For instance, you could say, demain, je vais aller à la plage. See what happened there? You just take your base sentence, I'm going to go, and you pop tomorrow right on the front to specify when. It's that easy.
All right, theory is great, but the absolute best way to learn is by doing it. So let's put your new skill to the test right now. I'll give you a sentence in English. You try to translate it into French. Ready?
Okay, first one up. How would you say, I'm going to study tomorrow? Take a second. Remember the 3 parts: the subject, the right form of aller, and the infinitive.
And there you have it. Je vais étudier demain.
Excellent. Let's try another one. Okay, next one. We're going to eat pizza tonight. Think about that form of aller that goes with we.
Exactly. Nous allons manger une pizza ce soir. See? You're getting the hang of this. Let's do one more.
All right, last one for our little practice round. How would you say, they're going to travel next week?
Perfect. Ils vont voyager la semaine prochaine. See? It's just a simple, repeatable pattern. You've totally got this.
Now, just one quick but really important point. You might have heard of another future tense, the future sample. The difference is actually pretty straightforward. You use the futur proche, the one we just learned, for definite near future plans. The future sample is more for distant or kind of uncertain ideas, like, I will leave someday. So the main takeaway here is that for everyday conversations about your actual plans, le futur proche isn't just the easier option, it's very often the better, more natural choice. For sure, it should be your go-to future tense. So let's do a super quick recap of the essentials. Remember that 3-part formula: subject plus the right form of the verb aller plus an infinitive. Use it to talk about your near future plans and intentions, and make it even clearer by adding time words like demain or ce soir. And with that, you have a really powerful new tool in your French toolkit. So I'll leave you with a question to try out on your own. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire demain? What are you going to do tomorrow? And the best part is, now you know exactly how to answer. Happy planning!